Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and the Phoenix Suns just got sent home from the NBA playoffs after getting handled in Game 6 by the People's MVP, aka Nikola Jokic, and the Denver Nuggets. And after this loss, everyone is now speculating if the Kevin Durant trade truly was worth it, given that the Suns found themselves not reaching the Western Conference Finals for a second year in a row, and they have minimal options to work with to bolster their roster this summer. Today in this video, we're going to explore the Kevin Durant trade on a deeper level and attempt to answer the following questions. Was the Kevin Durant trade a bad one for the Suns? Did Phoenix give up a future superstar they didn't know they had in Mikal Bridges? Are DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul to blame for any of this? And if you stay until the end, I'm going to try to answer the biggest question of them all. Was this trade a worse one than the Rudy Gobert trade? I promise you, you're going to want to hear my reasoning. I think I can be pretty convincing. The first thing we have to address is that this has nothing to do with Kevin Durant's legacy. I'm going to say that right now. He is one of the greatest players of this generation and quite literally the greatest shooter at his size in NBA history. So this video has little to do with what he's accomplished or how incredible he is. A lot of people are going to say this is confirmation bias talking about this trade after they lost in the playoffs, and my answer to that is it's plainly not. Who cares how we felt about a trade when the trade happened? What matters is what happens after the trade and how history will view this trade. And my ultimate thesis for this video is that NBA history is going to look back on this trade poorly for the Phoenix Suns. Let's talk about Kevin Durant in the playoffs and more specifically in this Nuggets series. He may have averaged 29 points per game, but I think everyone will agree with me, he underperformed in this series. He shot 42% from the field, 22% from three. Now to his credit, he did play 41.1 minutes per game, but he still underperformed, and the Suns probably only have one more shot to run this back. That is my problem with this trade. A lot of people are saying that we have 2025 to look forward to as well with this Suns team. I don't know if I buy that. Kevin Durant's going to be 36 in 2025. Do we really believe 36-year-old Kevin Durant is the same as 33-year-old, 34-year-old Kevin Durant? I don't believe that. At some point, father time comes for us all, and Kevin Durant's still probably going to be a good player at 36, but he is not going to be the player he is right now. The second aspect of this is the Mikal Bridges ascension to superstardom. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Mikal Bridges is going to make an All-NBA team next season, potentially even the second team. And let's just take a quick look at his splits when he was on the Brooklyn Nets. Mikal Bridges ended up scoring 26.1 points per game on 47.5% from the field. He had 3 games of 40+ points, and post-trade deadline, he led the league in pull-up field goals made with 114, 5 ahead of Devin Booker. I put out a poll today on my community tab, not asking what side you'd rather have in this trade, but asking would you rather have a 34-year-old Kevin Durant or a 26-year-old Mikal Bridges? And 62% voted Mikal Bridges out of 1,000 people. I'm not gonna vote Mikal Bridges straight up over Kevin Durant, but I think you can start to see my argument for why this was a bad trade for the Suns. By the way, if Mikal Bridges does not get selected to an All-NBA team next year, I'm gonna give a random subscriber $250, so please remind me in the comments if I forget. We have to talk about DeAndre Ayton and his completely unforeseen regression. What happened to this man? I'm old enough to remember Ayton playing so well in the 2021 playoffs that Bill Simmons ranked him the 19th best player in the NBA after the 2021 season.
And then DeAndre Ayton, I have 19th now. By this list, I have the Suns with 3 of the top 20 guys.
In this series against the Nuggets, he looked completely checked out. Everyone noticed it, and he averaged 10 points per game and 8 rebounds. If we look back at his stat lines from the previous 2 playoffs, in 2021, he averaged 15.8 and 11.8 on 66% shooting. In 2022, he averaged 17.9 points per game, 8.9 boards, and 64.5% from the field. But in the 2023 NBA playoff, he averaged 13.4 points per game, 9.7 boards, and he shot 55% from the field. Here he is excusing himself from the team huddle in Game 5 after Devin Booker challenged him. And if we are to believe rumors, there's a chance he just sat out of Game 6 because he didn't feel like playing. So it would not be fair of me in this video to not talk about DeAndre Ayton's complete collapse. There's no way James Jones was expecting this when he made that Kevin Durant trade. But that leaves the question, there's no way Ayton returns this offseason to the Suns either. He was supposed to be a member of this big 3, and as bad as he was in these playoffs, that still leaves a gaping hole in this Suns roster, another one that they're going to have to fill. When it comes to CP3, yes, he did get injured in this series. He only played in 2 games, but understand this. I don't care. I'm a huge fan of Chris Paul, but don't tell me that Chris Paul was going to make the difference in this series. Even if he did, you don't make a trade for Kevin Durant if you cannot win without your 37-year-old point guard. The biggest defenders of this trade from the Suns side will tell you this, that when Kevin Durant is offered you in a trade, it doesn't matter what you give up, you take it. Kevin Durant gives you the ability to win a championship no matter what team you're on. It's the KD effect. JJ Redick said it himself when this trade went down. This is the greatest star we've seen traded in season in the NBA since Wilt Chamberlain in the 1960s. Here's why I don't agree with that philosophy. Because they didn't make it to the conference finals. Yes, it is true in a vacuum. You should trade for Kevin Durant if you get the opportunity to. But this Suns team was left with nobody behind DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, and Chris Paul. James Jones greatly overestimated Kevin Durant and Devin Booker's ability to just carry this team across the finish line. He also greatly underestimated what Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson do for this team. But it's not just that. He underestimated the talent of the Nuggets, who are head and shoulders the better roster. And let's not forget, when Kawhi was healthy, they beat the Suns in Game 1. The Suns series win against the Clippers is not impressive at all. They didn't have Paul George all series, and they only had Kawhi for 2 in games they split. So no, I do not agree with the Kevin Durant effect. Plus, he's not 29 years old. He's 34, and I don't know if they have 2 more years of this. And finally, the question you've all been waiting for: what will history remember about this trade? Will it be remembered as a worse trade than the Rudy Gobert trade? Give it time, and I do believe so. Let's break this down really quickly. The Timberwolves have gotten absolutely raked, as they should, for the Rudy Gobert trade over the past 9 months. But let's really break down these trades and let's project into the future a little bit. The role players the Timberwolves gave up were Jared Vanderbilt, who's a good defender for the Lakers, but terrible on offense; Malik Beasley, who can't find himself into a Lakers playoff rotation; and Patrick Beverley, who just continues to bounce around from team to team. The Timberwolves did not give up Jaden McDaniels in this trade. However, the Suns gave up Mikal Bridges, again, a player I believe is going to be All-NBA next year; Cameron Johnson, a player I believe is a really good third option. I will hand it to you, Walker Kessler is a big blow to the Wolves, but the Timberwolves roster without Rudy Gobert and without the players they gave up is far better than the Suns. And let's not forget, Chris Paul's probably gone, DeAndre Ayton's probably gone. Who is left in Phoenix? Rudy Gobert's only 30 years old. Kevin Durant's 34. At the very least, this Kevin Durant trade should be under a lot of heat this offseason, and the 2023-2024 Phoenix Suns have to be championship or bust, or this is one of the worst trades in NBA history. This is a Suns team that won over 60 games in 2021, and now I have no clue what they're going to do this offseason to make their team better. If the Timberwolves make a Western Conference Finals in the next 3 years and the Suns don't win a title, I think you have to say that the Kevin Durant trade was worse for the Suns franchise than the Rudy Gobert trade was for the Wolves. I've done enough talking. You tell me what you guys think. Maybe I'm way off base here. Maybe I'll be eating my words in 6 months from now. But this is how I see it, and it bothered me that everyone acted like the Nets got fleeced when this trade first went down. I just don't think this trade has gotten the heat, or at least the heaviness to it, that it should have. But please tell me in the comments what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I an idiot? Do you agree with me? And if you enjoyed this video, check out this video I just made on how far each seed has gone in the NBA playoffs. Thanks for watching. This is a different style video than I'm used to, but I had to get this off my chest. And as always, welcome to the Hardwood.